Hello friends and divine beings, my name is Bobby and this is Cosmic Coaching. Here we hang out and talk about all things positive mindset, manifestation, chakras, tarot, and so much more. Today's topic is all about manifesting through depression. I've been talking to a lot of my colleagues lately and it seems like a lot of people have been struggling with feelings of anxiety or depression lately. So I thought this would be a really good time to talk about how to continue to manifest and manifest productively while going through an episode of depression. Manifestation is not just restricted to happy people or people who don't struggle from depression. Yet you would never know that based on a lot of the messaging that's put out about law of attraction and manifestation. It kind of seems like it's this private club where you have to be like super happy all the time. And that's just not true. Law of attraction and mental illness can be a tricky thing to pair up because so many of the things that you are told that are vital for manifestation, like positive thinking and taking action, become really difficult when you're in a lower mood or when you're a lower vibration or when you are in an episode of depression that impacts your motivation. There's this myth about positive vibes only. I'm sure you've seen it. You've seen it on bumper stickers. You've seen it on social media. So there's a misconception that when you feel low vibe, it means that you're going to attract more low vibration things into your life. And this is something that I definitely thought for a really long time. I've suffered with anxiety and depression pretty much my entire life. And I bought into that misconception that I can't have any bad days. I can't feel low because if I feel low, then I'm just going to bring more low vibe things into my life and my depression is just going to get worse and worse. And so I'm not allowed to have a bad day. I'm not allowed to feel depressed. I just have to think positive all the time, even when it's really hard to think positive. And so I started doing some research because I thought this can't be the way that it is, right? And so I found some really fantastic tips that I want to share with you that I think will be really helpful. And I also want to dispel some of the myths around manifestation and law of attraction, especially as it pertains to depression. When people talk about positive vibes only, it's almost like a form of spiritual gaslighting. There are so many things wrong with this way of thinking. As humans, we feel a broad spectrum of different feelings and emotions, and there's no way that we can feel this broad spectrum of feelings and emotions without coming across emotions or feelings sometimes of being depressed or unhappy or stressed or sad. It's really important to know too that we would not be able to experience good if we didn't have bad to compare it to. So we need those opposite ends of the spectrum. We need to have good days and we need to have bad days, because when we have those good days, we're more grateful for when the bad days come. And when we have the bad days, we can stay positive because we know that there's good days coming. So there is a place in our experience for all of our different emotions. Additionally, there might be some issues that like positive thinking are just not going to fix. This ties into the idea or the concept of shadows and doing shadow work, and that's really important, but we are going to save shadow work for another day and another video, because today we're just talking about the manifestation through depression. Sometimes it's better to process and work through emotions than just trying to stuff down your emotions and to pretend like they don't exist. It's working with our emotions that allow us to show up as our most authentic selves. And by being your most authentic self, that's going to put you more in alignment with the things that you're trying to bring into your life or the things that you're trying to manifest. So I have 7 tips for you on how to deal with depression while you're trying to manifest. So tip number 1, acknowledge and explore your feelings. The first step to healing your emotions is by allowing yourself to feel your feelings no matter how uncomfortable they might be. From that vantage point, you can see your emotions with much more clarity and then be able to navigate better and to even use that as an advantage. Some ways to acknowledge and explore your feelings are to ask yourself the following questions. You can ask yourself questions like, how am I truly feeling now? What is going on in my life right now that could be contributing to these feelings? What do I need in order to move through these feelings? What needs of mine are not currently being met? And how can I meet these needs in a healthy way? In addition to asking yourself those questions and exploring those feelings, it's also really important to cry. If you feel the need or the urge to cry, cry. I used to stop myself from crying. I would not let myself cry because I would think if I start crying, then I'm gonna feel low and I'm going to attract more low. So there were times when I would be like fighting my emotions so hard. And then I learned after some practice and some exploration in this concept of manifesting while feeling depressed that I didn't have to push that down, and I also didn't have to spiral. I could cry and not go down a rabbit hole of crazy thoughts, but just allow myself to be in the moment and to feel the emotion of sadness or release and to just cry. And you'll find such a huge release when you do allow yourself to cry. Sometimes you just have to cry it out. It's important to honor your body when it's trying to expel the excess of emotion that you're holding on to. Let it flow. The second tip that I have for you is to work through your limiting beliefs. A contributor to unsuccessful manifestation is limiting beliefs. And I've talked about limiting beliefs in another video. I will link it down below so that you can check that out if you'd like to. But when you have limiting beliefs, you are more likely to diminish yourself subconsciously and to unconsciously hold on to things that are keeping you in your present circumstances. The third tip that I have for you is to find your emotional baseline. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the most depressed you've ever felt, and 10 being the best, highest, most ecstatic, joyful you've ever felt, how happy are you on the average? For you, your baseline might be a 3. So anything above a 3 is a higher vibration for you. So it doesn't mean that we always have to go straight to a 10 and be a 10 and stay a 10 in order to manifest. If you're 3 and you bring it up to a 4, you've raised your vibrations, therefore opening yourself up to being able to manifest things. One little note, unfortunately, we cannot manifest away a chemical imbalance in our brains, at least not immediately. And we do need to take the concept of depression and anxiety very seriously because it is a chemical imbalance in our brains, and there are times when you do need to see a doctor or you need to seek out therapy, perhaps medication. I am not a licensed physician or therapist, so I cannot give you exact specific recommendations as far as what you might need in particular, but it is important to remember that we are dealing with something that is medical, so you do need to have some grace for yourself too. And I don't want anyone to not seek medical or professional help because they think that they can just manifest it away. So that's really important, and I feel like it's important to point that out right now. The fourth tip that I have for you are to set intentions. Even if these are just little tiny milestones that are projecting you forward, that's okay. The most important thing is to set yourself up so that you are moving in the direction that you want to go. It's also really important that when you're setting your intentions, that you are at a higher vibration level than your baseline. So let's say that your baseline is a 3 and you're just kind of maybe feeling down. You might not want to set intentions when you're in that space. But if you're having a really good day or if you're doing something that makes you feel higher vibe, that's the place you want to be when you set your intentions. Because if you set your intentions from a place of happiness, you're going to have these like really great ideas and you're going to get divine inspiration. If you try to set intentions when you're at your baseline or when you're lower than your baseline, what you can find is that you get easily frustrated or you can't think of intentions. And so it can be really difficult. And we don't want to make this any harder on you than it already is. So wait until you are above your baseline to set your intentions. Tip number 5, be accepting and go with the flow when you are feeling depression. It's also really important to practice self-care. Sometimes we need a day in bed binging on our favorite TV show in order to make ourselves feel better. Use this self-care downtime to help push yourself back up to your baseline or maybe even above your baseline. Tip number 6, focus on appreciating the little things. Even if it's just your morning cup of coffee or finding a really great parking spot when you go to work, celebrate those little things. Be grateful for them. This can help shift your focus. It can also help to raise your vibration, And it can also help to attract more of that into your life. So you had a great cup of coffee in the morning, it tasted delicious, and then you drove to work and you got an amazing parking space. And then maybe you walk into work and the first thing that happens is someone compliments you on your outfit. And then it just keeps going from there. You go to the cafeteria at work and they're serving your favorite lunch. So if you start to look for those little things, you'll find that more and more things are there that are going to help boost your mood and that are going to help you kind of turn it around. And my final tip number 7, is to accept yourself in every stage of your journey. Because no matter where you are, you have the ability and the power to create your own reality. And that is pretty amazing. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I hope that this was helpful. Please know that whenever you are feeling down or if you do struggle with depression, that's okay. You're not alone. If you feel like you need help, please reach out to someone, and I'm going to go ahead and list some resources in the description box down below if you need more help, if you need professional help, if you're really struggling with your depression. If this video resonated with you or if you found the tips helpful, please feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Also, I would love to hear from you, so if you feel compelled, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Also, if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload new content. I'm also really excited to announce that I have launched my website. It is www.cosmiccoaching.net. Again, that's cosmiccoaching.net. There you can find my courses, one-on-one coaching, access to tarot card readings, personalized tarot card readings. I have a little apothecary with some goodies there, so please feel free to check that out. I will also link all of my social media down below in case you want to give me a follow. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye.